Good morning, Flosstube. This is Monday morning, December 4th, and I'm finally back to share some Christmas stitching from the past and, as promised, some of my favorite Christmas books for children. I had to film over here by the Christmas tree, and although the weather here in Texas is far from Christmas-like, we're in the 80s today, we are supposed to get a cool spell overnight and a little more Christmas feel in the air by tomorrow. So let's get started. I hope you will enjoy this sharing of a very favorite season for our family. I do have some other Christmas stitching which I will need to share after the holiday because some of it is still packed up, but I'm bringing out some of the highlights. So the first one I'd like to share is a quote from one of our favorite Christmas books, which is Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And this one is Tiny Tim's quote, "God bless us, everyone." This was done on hardanger fabric many, many years ago. You'll notice there are cross stitches as well as back stitches. So this has been with us for a very long time, and we display it on an easel in our family room. Then another favorite is the word joy. This was done on 14 count Aida. These are so old that I have no idea what the patterns are. If I ever run across those, I promise I will share. Another one mounted on an easel with our decorations. Then I have my personal favorite, which hangs in our entrance hall every Christmas. This one is the Christmas tree that is painted on spode Christmas china. And there's so many beautiful details to this piece. I'm not sure how much of that you can see. But if you look at the top of the tree, it is the same as the spode plates with Santa or Father Christmas. You'll also notice Japanese lanterns, birds, the gifts under the tree. This piece was done on linen also many years ago. And this pattern I do have. I believe my daughter has this pattern right now, and I will update you on what this was, but just much fun to stitch. The bright colors, the branches of that tree. So the beautiful spode Christmas tree. We were able to utilize double mats on that one and just a single mat on the God Bless Us Everyone. Now, this piece, my daughter also has the pattern, but we have enjoyed this piece since the first year we were married. It is our tree topper, which is the angel holding the candle, and done on, I believe, 18 count Aida, maybe smaller than that. She has a front and a back, and you'll notice the date, but on the front, the metallic design on the skirt. The funny thing about this angel is that I constructed her before I realized that I wasn't very good at construction. But she has weathered well, and inside her little dress we always put the little tissue roll to give her some stability. So she has the place of honor on top of the tree. What's wonderful about this design is you can change the angel's hair color, her eye color, make her personal. So our Christmas tree topper, our sweet angel, 30 plus years old. Back in those days, our ornaments were completely different from what is being done today. And it is almost embarrassing for me to show you these because they are so simplistic. But I am showing so that you'll understand that cross stitch has been around a long time, but styles have changed. I must say that I love the new finishing compared to what we did in those days, but lots of ornaments that we were able to keep through the years. These were all done on hardanger fabric, the little reindeer, and these are tiny, 1/1 for sure. The word Noel, the little drummer boy, and you'll see the details. There's some lovely details on these. But all we did was cut the fabric to fit into these little gold frames. This one is a personal favorite. The word joy again with the tiny cardinal inside the wreath. And then the 3 angels. So tiny, those stitches. These still have a place of honor, even though I would love to accomplish some of the beautiful ones that you all have done. Now, apparently my chrismons, which are the Christian symbols stitched for a Christmas tree, are still packed away unless they have gotten hung on the tree without my knowledge. But this is an example of those. They are even smaller frames. This is the butterfly, symbol of new life. But there's some other lovely chrismons that I would love to share after the holiday when they turn up. And also 2 stockings that I was able to do before the children came along. No stockings for the poor children that are handmade, sorry. Okay, it's book time. If you are not into children's literature or Christmas books, this is your time to turn off the video. But I wish you a blessed holiday season and much stitching or gifts about stitching. For those who want to hear about the books, I will share those now. One of my daughters considers this her very favorite Christmas book, The Story of Holly and Ivy. And if you can read this book without tears coming to your eyes, you're a bigger person than I, or a hard-hearted one. This is the story of an orphan and a family who needs a child. And it is just one of the most beautiful books I think I've ever read. This is an illustration from the inside of the book. The text and the illustrations go beautifully together. The author is Rumer Godden, and the illustrations are done by Barbara Cooney. Let me see if there is another lovely illustration. Here is the mom, or soon-to-be mom, in her kitchen. And then the lovely table that she sets for Christmas breakfast for herself and her husband. And so much is about to happen in their home. And then Holly is the doll involved in the story. And I would love to show you Holly's picture. The beautiful doll in the store window. And she is also featured again on the cover. Then Ivy is the little orphan girl. So the story of Holly and Ivy. Another wonderful one that we all enjoy, also illustrated by Barbara Cooney, but written by Gloria Houston, is called The Year of the Perfect Christmas Tree. Appalachian Christmas, a time of simple living, almost to the point of poverty, but still celebrating Christmas. This is a lovely story about the honor of cutting down the Christmas tree for the Christmas pageant. And here is a picture from the book of the mom and her daughter choosing the tree and cutting it down. This story deals with a father who is away at war. There's a good illustration of the little one-room schoolhouse where they are practicing for the Christmas pageant. But again, family interactions, love, value for the holiday. The pageant itself, and the importance of community at times like this. Love that one as well. This one is a little more mature. This would be considered an adult Christmas book, but children love it as well. And we have had this since we were first married. It was actually a wedding gift. What a wonderful idea. It is the Christmas story from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So inside, the story of Christmas is featured with famous paintings from the Metropolitan Museum, with the scriptures from Matthew as well as Luke. And I will only show a few of the gorgeous illustrations. This, of course, is the Annunciation. The Nativity. This book is such a valuable way to introduce children to famous art while telling them a well-loved story, The Shepherds in the Field. Many famous artists represented here. The angels, so 1 page per day for a child to learn the art that represents their loved story with the scripture beside it. This is another one of the Nativity and the Adoration of the Magi, I believe. Yes, and the shepherds. No, the Magi and then Joseph. Yes, excuse me. But what a sweet sit-down time with an older child to go over the scripture and go over or learn new art. Madonna and Child. The Christmas Story from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This book was a gift from my husband's sister, my children's aunt, and another one that will bring tears and also many smiles. The Christmas Miracle of Jonathan Toomey. We read this one every year. I will not begin to pronounce the author's name. It was illustrated by P.J. Lynch, and I will show you her name closely so that you can look that one up online if you want to. This book is, again, family interaction, life in a small town, the life of an artist, a wood carver, who is a widower, and the life of a widow and her son, and how the two become acquainted and celebrate Christmas. This is a picture of Mr. Jonathan Toomey, the wood carver. You see the depth of this illustration, just amazing. A sweet picture of the widow and her son in the snow, visiting Mr. Toomey. The young son watching the woodcarver work. I I don't want to give any spoilers for these stories. They're so beautiful. Mr. Toomey's accomplishment, the carved manger scene, and the delight of the widow and her son. And we will spoil by showing the happy ending. Again, the Christmas Miracle of Jonathan Toomey. Highly recommend. We have 3 more. Are you hanging in there with me? If you can ever find books written and illustrated by Marguerite D'Angeli, you have struck a gold mine for children's literature. This one is called Turkey for Christmas. It is one we purchased from a library book sale. So the illustrations are not clear enough for me to show you, but it is a lovely story of a family and some trials they undergo at the Christmas season and the resolution of those problems. Marguerite D'Angeli is an amazing artist, but she is also a delightful author. But her books, many of them are out of print. The one we are looking for that is too expensive right now to purchase is called The Lion in the Box, and it is a wonderful Christmas story. Another daughter of mine, it is her favorite. So we will keep looking for that one, but you can see these beautiful illustrations. So Turkey for Christmas. And then another favorite illustrator, one whose work I have collected for many years, her Advent calendar book. This is Tasha Tudor, famous for her New England illustrations and her corgis. But this book is an Advent calendar. So you have the scene of the village, and then you have the lovely surprise boxes where you lift a flap and you have another picture. So a child can look at this book many, many times each day of the Advent season, and then some explanation of what Advent is and what the Tudor family did to celebrate. I hope you can see these. Lots of darling animals. So Tasha Tudor's Advent calendar. I love the illustration on the back. It brings to mind Brian Jake's books for young adults, or shall we say middle and tween readers. And then I guess the most favorite of our collection of Christmas books. We have purchased this for all of our daughters. I need to do that for daughter-in-law now that I think about it. But this is called Take Joy, and it is a Tasha Tudor book. Inside this book are all the traditional Christmas stories, as well as Christmas carols. And so this book lives on our piano during the Christmas season, and we play and sing these lovely carols with Tasha's illustrations to keep us company. This is a book you can sit and study just the illustrations and be in the Christmas spirit. One of my favorite illustrations. Mary and the baby Jesus. Look at her lighting and the way she represents Mary as a young girl. This one accompanies Silent Night. Her musical arrangements are lovely. I'm sure she did not arrange these. She probably had someone do that for her. But then in the back are the famous stories of the season, such as The Gift of the Magi, The The Legend of the Holy Thorn, Twelfth Night, The Kissing Bough, or we'd call it mistletoe now. So we can learn a lot of the history of the season by reading this book. Bringing in the tree and hanging the stockings. But I want to leave you today with the quote that she begins the book with, and that is where her title came from. It is from AD 1513, a very old quote, Fra Giovanni. It is called, "Take joy. I salute you. There is nothing I can give you which you have not. But there is much that, while I cannot give, you can take. No heaven can come to us unless our hearts find rest in it today. Take heaven. No peace lies in the future which is not hidden in this present instant. Take peace. The gloom of the world is but a shadow. Behind it, yet within our reach, is joy. Take joy. And so, at this Christmas time, I greet you with the prayer that for you, now and forever, the day breaks and the shadows flee away." Have a blessed holiday season, and I look forward to sharing in the new year lots of family news and stitching and maybe some stash. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe or comment. Be patient with me as I travel for the next few weeks, and I look forward to seeing you in the next year. Goodbye for today. Thank you.